The space race, a thrilling and intense competition that transcended science and technology. It was a battle for global supremacy, a fight to prove which ideology would dominate the future, capitalism or communism. At the heart of this rivalry stood two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, each vying for the ultimate prize, landing a man on the moon. The seeds of the space race were sown in the ashes of World War II. Both nations had captured and repurposed German rocket technology and expertise. The Cold War that followed turned this technological pursuit into a matter of pride and security. In 1957, the Soviets stunned the world by launching Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite to orbit the Earth. This 23-inch metal sphere sent a clear message. The USSR had the capability to launch intercontinental ballistic missiles, a chilling reality for the West. The United States, caught off guard, responded by founding NASA in 1958. President Dwight Eisenhower declared space exploration a national priority, and the space race officially began. The Soviet Union took an early lead. In 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to travel to space aboard Vostok 1. His 108-minute orbit around Earth was a monumental achievement that cemented Soviet dominance in the eyes of the world. America struggled to keep pace. The Mercury program produced successes like Alan Shepard, the first American in space, but they were steps behind. The Soviets followed up with another feat, the first woman in space, Valentina Tereshkova, in 1963. The stakes were raised in 1961 when President John F. Kennedy delivered a bold declaration. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. With this speech, the moon became the ultimate symbol of technological prowess. The Apollo program was launched, with billions of dollars poured into research, development, and testing. Both nations faced setbacks. The USSR suffered catastrophic failures, including the death of cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov in 1967. In the United States, the Apollo program endured its darkest day with the Apollo 1 tragedy. During a routine test, a cabin fire claimed the lives of 3 astronauts. Yet these losses only fueled their determination to succeed. The 1968 Apollo 7 mission marked a major shift, with NASA successfully sending astronauts into orbit around the Earth. Then came Apollo 8, which achieved the first manned orbit of the moon. These successes narrowed the gap between the United States and the Soviet Union. The Soviets, meanwhile, faced a decline. Their lunar program was plagued by technical difficulties, and their N-1 rocket, the equivalent of NASA's Saturn V, failed repeatedly. On July 16, 1969, Apollo 11 lifted off with astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. 4 days later, the world held its breath as the Eagle lunar module descended to the moon's surface. On July 20, 1969, Neil Armstrong uttered the words that would echo through history. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The United States had achieved the unthinkable. The American flag now stood on the moon, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. After Apollo 11, the space race began to lose momentum. The USSR shifted its focus to other projects, such as space stations, while the United States conducted a few more lunar missions before scaling back its efforts. By the mid-1970s, détente in the Cold War had led to cooperation, culminating in the Apollo-Soyuz test project in 1975. This marked the end of the intense rivalry and the beginning of collaboration in space exploration. The space race left a profound legacy. It accelerated technological advancements, from satellite communication to computing. It inspired generations to dream of the stars and paved the way for international cooperation in space exploration. The moon landing was not just a victory for America, it was a triumph for humanity, proving that when we aim for the stars, there is no limit to what we can achieve. Today, as new players join the quest for space, the echoes of the space race remind us of our shared potential to explore, innovate, and unite for the greater good.